It's not just Hongkongers who are affected by the new so-called national security law. According to China, it's everyone in the world. Article 38 says that this law shall apply to offenses committed against Hong Kong from outside the region by a person who is not a permanent resident of Hong Kong. And Article 29 says that people who provoke hatred towards the Chinese regime or the Hong Kong government could be given a life sentence. Therefore, this law affects not only Hong Kong residents, the 80,000 American citizens or the 30,000 UK citizens living in the region, but even foreigners who live outside of Hong Kong can be charged for things like speaking at a pro-Hong Kong rally, writing an op-ed article criticizing Beijing, or pushing for sanctions against China. Such people are at risk if they travel to China or simply transfer flights in Hong Kong. Experts say the law is even broader than China's own criminal legislation. George Washington University law professor Donald Clark wrote that Beijing is asserting extraterritorial jurisdiction over every person on the planet. The Canadian government warned its citizens about traveling to Hong Kong, saying they may be at an increased risk of arbitrary detention, leading to extradition to mainland China. But it's not just China or Hong Kong that can be dangerous. According to a report by BBC Chinese, a politics professor at Columbia University warns that overseas supporters of Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement should take notice. He said caution is needed when traveling to other countries, and countries with extradition clauses with China should be avoided. Even though it's rare for countries to extradite prisoners on political grounds, experts worry that it's still possible for Beijing to do this under the new law. China claims that at least 53 countries have publicly said they support the law so far. That includes Russia, Vietnam, Iran, Serbia, Pakistan, Venezuela, and others. Among them, many have extradition clauses with China. George Washington University law professor Donald Clark wrote on Twitter, "Please remember that the problem with the Hong Kong national security law is not so much the specific acts it criminalizes. Those definitions can be stretched as far as one wants, but the institutions it establishes and empowers." He said the name and legal definition of the crime doesn't matter when you've been unreviewably identified as a serious national security threat and sent to the mainland for processing and imprisonment. Hong Kong authorities said today that the police can arrest people before giving any evidence. Hong Kong media quoted Hong Kong Security Secretary John Lee saying, "No matter what the behavior in question is, as long as the police officer reasonably believes that it violates the law, they can arrest, investigate, and search people according to the Hong Kong national security law, and then charge the person when they find enough evidence."